Everyone, it's Rachel and my little is joining me. Everyone's struggling to get to sleep in my house, so I had to, like my dad always used to say, divide and conquer. So I'm about to invite Jenna on. Jenna's going to come and talk to us about her home ed. So we just ask the normal questions, what is kind of a typical day of life, just because we really want to get to know lots of different home educators in lots of different settings. And I've been surprised at how much unity there has been between all of that. So I'm excited to see what Jenna's got to say. So I'm going to invite her on now, and then we've got a strict 10 minutes before we all go and sit in front of the fan or whatever it is that you're doing tonight. So I'll invite her on.
Hello.
Hi Jenna, hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
How are you too? Sorry, I lost you then.
Okay.
Try again.
How's your day been?
Sorry, say that again.
I was just asking how your day has been.
Oh yeah, very hot.
Yeah.
We're all very warm in this house, and yeah,
Yeah.
a bit of a up and down day today, I think, for everybody.
Yeah, we've definitely we went out early, like as early as we could this morning, but it still got really hot, so we're gonna have to try it earlier tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start the timer after you've done your introduction, so that we're not taking up the precious time of the 10 minutes. But do you just want to tell everyone who you are, who you home educate, anything else that you want to tell us?
Yeah, of course. So obviously my name's Jenna. I live in a little village in West Yorkshire with my husband and our two daughters, Kira, who is almost 11, and then Scarlett, who is 8. And we've home educated on and off for the past 6 years now.
That's a long time. So does that mean from the start?
No, not necessarily. Our eldest daughter, who's almost 11 now, did start school at reception. And we did end up taking her out halfway through reception. And then since then, we'd like to say we're quite a child-led family, really. We try and let them have a voice, and there has been a few occasions where they've come to us and said, look, Mum, Dad, we'd like to try school, and they have gone back, tried it, and then kind of realised that, they prefer home education. So I think for us now, it seems like we will be home educating for the foreseeable future, really.
Nice. Right, I'm going to start the timer now.
Okay.
So tell us then, why did you decide to home educate? Because obviously it wasn't your first decision with schooling by the sounds of it. So what led you to that?
So I think originally when our eldest daughter was young, it was always something we thought about and liked the sound of. But like many families, we didn't think it was possible for us. You're thinking about your other work commitments, finances. Can we actually afford to do this? But when our eldest daughter did start school after a few months, when we realised she was struggling, with like separation anxiety, because they are incredibly young in this country when they do start school, we kind of just realised that as she's our priority, we had to kind of make life work around her rather than, make her work around our lives, really. So we juggled a lot of things around to make it possible for our family. And then, like I said, we've done it, on and off, especially with our youngest, she thrives being home educated a lot more than she has at school. So
yeah. So you said you're quite child-led. Can you tell us, I used to ask this all the time, but kind of what are the 3 things that describe your home ed? You can expand on them as much as you want.
Okay, number 1 would be freedom, which I think a lot of people will probably say, just having the freedom to decide how your day goes. And you might wake up with the intention that it's going to go one way and it goes a complete other, and that's okay. I really like that. I like being able to, follow their lead, really. Half the time I'll have an idea in my head of what I think a good day will look like. And, especially the youngest one, she tends to like to do her own thing. So, yeah, definitely following them. So freedom's quite important. Nurturing, I think as parents, it's allowed us to be more nurturing, really, because they're here, with us all the time. We can listen to them. We're not rushing out the door. Come on, kids, get your uniform on. We're going to school now. We can give them the time that I think they need as children. And then, oh gosh,
It's hard,
It's
isn't
so
it?
good. It is, yeah, it is. I don't know really. I find home education quite magical. You know, children, they grow so fast, you know, and time just seems to fly by, and having these magical moments with them, you know, and being able to experience life alongside them while they're still young. You know, our eldest is almost 11 now, and it seems like 2 minutes ago when she was born. So quite magical really to have these
Yeah.
moments with them.
I like that. I really like nurturing because, like, I think everyone would use that word, but or would describe things like that. But I found it hard to think of a word that sums up that fact that you can kind of like help them emotionally grow in a different
Yeah,
way. I think because you're with them the whole time. So I think nurturing sums it up. Like you said, they're not having to rush out somewhere, being able to take time to talk things through. And I mean, that is amazing that we get to do that because I mean, I've got very loving parents and so on, but often you just kind of shift. Well, it's school now and it's this now. And you just got to kind of keep going and unlearning that as an
absolutely.
adult is really hard, isn't it? So I love that
Yeah.
idea of nurturing. Brilliant, thank you. So the next question, I'm a bit nervous where my son has gone, but if you hear loud noises, I might have to go and investigate. So
No
the
problem.
other thing was talking about the highs and lows. You can do that over the kind of the 6 years or so, or just kind of the last week. It's up to you. Some highs, and then because we like to be honest on here, some of the lows or some of the struggles of home ed.
Yeah, I think probably start with the lows then. I think for us, it's always been trying to trust ourselves as parents and knowing that you're making the right choices. You know, half the time, and I say this to my friends, I think as parents, we're always almost winging it a little bit and hoping we're making the right decisions. You know, some of the lows have been, you know, seeing our children unhappy at school and making that decision to pull them out, but then seeing the highs that come with that, you know, seeing them become themselves again, seeing them be happy again. You know, I'm a massive advocate for home education. I think it works so well for so many children. And at the same time, I'm also conscious that, especially with our eldest daughter, you want to give your children a voice, you know, hence why, you know, we try and listen to them. We went round, she'd have been due to start high school in September, so we went round a lot of the high school open evenings to allow her to make that decision. And in the back of my head, I'm praying, oh, please choose home ed, please choose home
Yes.
ed, whilst also letting her decide. You know, unfortunately, she's very, you know, open-minded, but she did go to all the open evenings and realised that for her, home ed was the direction she wanted to go in. So that was definitely a high for me
Yeah.
because it was like, you know, at least, you know, if she'd have said she wanted to go to high school, we probably would have allowed her to.
Yeah.
You know, of course we would, but I was quite relieved when she, you
Yeah,
know, chose it.
that's such a practical way because I never thought about that. So my children have no idea what school is like, and then you think, well,
Yeah.
how much a choice is it maybe? And that's a really practical way of when they're getting older to be able to offer that the chance to have a voice. Yeah, I'm gonna jot that one down. But again, I'm nervous because what happens if they choose school?
That's it, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a very practical tip. Any other highs or lows?
Um, I think like for the, well, obviously we've all gone through COVID and that threw a lot of, you know, lows for everyone. Everything's kind of changed a little bit. And we've all had to really adjust. I, at the start of the year, ended up leaving my job. I had quite a secure, well-paid job, but it was getting busier and busier, and the stress of my work I was bringing home with me, and it wasn't allowing me to give them the experience that I felt they deserved. So I ended up leaving my job and then setting up a self-employed, which at the time was a massive low for us. But now it seems to be, you know, it works really well now, and I'm able to be at home with them. So a low quickly turned to a high, and I do find that that's life, isn't it? You
Yeah,
know, roller
that's true.
coaster.
Is it a bakery that you have started?
It is, yeah, and I do
Yeah.
exercise Kira. So she's our eldest daughter who absolutely loves baking.
Yeah.
She's got really big plans, and that's one of the reasons she's chosen not to go to high school, really. She just wants to bake, and her focus when we were going to the open evenings was what about the food technology, and a lot of them didn't really allow them to do it very much, or in some cases they didn't get to choose what technology they did. It was chosen for them. So that kind of cemented it for her that I want to be at home so I can bake all the time, and that's when she's the happiest. So it works for us really well.
That's so empowering, the fact that like this big risk was taken for you as well, but like with her in that as well, and all the learning that's going to come in that is amazing. So do you send your, I'm just plugging, I like to plug other people's things, so you can send your bakery goods, baked goods all over, I think, can't you?
Right? Yeah, we've just started to, so you can find us, it's linked to my page. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but
I don't know. I always think to ask for forgiveness rather than permission, so it's for the home ed kids. I think it's really, really amazing. You mentioned doing like a village in West Yorkshire. I'm in West Yorkshire as well, but definitely not a village. Does it get lonely at all there? Do you have a good home ed community?
Yeah, amazing home ed community actually. We're probably guilty of not really going to a lot of things at the moment. We've just been so busy with obviously building a business, trying to juggle that and home eding the girls. But yeah, really good community. A lot of the things are a bit further afield than we'd like. So I'm hoping come September when everything starts up again, we'll probably go to more. But yeah, a lovely community of people, which I'm grateful for, definitely.
Yeah. During the summer, do you take a break? What will your kind of typical days look like during the summer? Especially balancing kind of teaching entrepreneurship at the same time. I'm really intrigued.
Yeah, probably a bit more relaxed in summer, to be honest. Our days, so our eldest daughter loves structure. You know, she'll have a timetable, or if she has an idea of what she wants to do, she will sit and do it. The youngest one, really, she's very hands-on, so going out, exploring, you know, things like that is how she learns. She doesn't really like to sit down for long, unless it's arts and crafts, and she will. Like a lot of kids. But yeah, I think in summer it'll be a bit more relaxed, and then September we'll probably start to do things a bit more, I think, more structured maybe.
Yeah. Do you get much time for yourself, and how do you?
No.
I
forgot what that is.
Question. I knew the answer to that.
Yeah.
Despite not being able to have much time for yourself, how do you like retain a sense of self within all of this, especially now that even like your business is tied up with home ed as well?
Yeah, I just think when they're in bed, really, you know, and if I can steal half an hour to sit and maybe read a book or something like that, and it's just taking those moments when you've got them, really. But yeah, it's usually when they're in bed.
Yeah, that's the same. Yeah, which means I end up staying too late as well. Because
exactly.
Oh, there are the beats. It goes quickly, doesn't it? But then we manage to pack a lot in. So I know that you've got an Instagram page that talks about your adventures and so on, so people can head over there if they have more questions.
Yeah.
It's very, very hot, so I'm going to go and get a nice lolly. But thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. That was really interesting, and I'm like, my mind is now firing, and like all these different things of like getting your kids involved in like your actual legitimate business that is. But anyway, I'm probably going to fire you some questions over the coming weeks myself.
That's fine.
Thank you so much, and maybe I'll bump into you in West Yorkshire.
Yeah, maybe.
Around a little bit. Thanks so much.
That's brilliant. Oh, thank you. Bye.